Alright. Don't hate me for this. I'm gonna try to be as polite about this review as possible. And I know this show, this series, whatever, everything about it, I know it's beloved and it's so critically acclaimed, and I've always heard, honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about it. This has been recommended to me forever. I mean, it's on every top 10, top 50, top 100 list or whatever, and one of the things that I always appreciated about people recommending Hunter x Hunter to me is that people can usually pinpoint what about the series of Hunter x Hunter that they think is so good. And honestly, most of the things that people recommend about it, those opinions usually intersect. For instance, I'm a very big One Piece fan. There are many things about One Piece that I recommend to people for it. Those same things people recommend to me about Hunter x Hunter. For instance, the character development, the story, the drama, the political struggle, the balance between protagonists and antagonists. Like, there are so many things about it that the way in which people describe it, they never say, oh, the fights. No one ever recommends the fights to me, and that's the thing I've always appreciated about people recommending Hunter x Hunter. That's the same reason most people will recommend One Piece. No one ever uses the fights as a selling point. It's not the fights themselves so much as why the fight is happening. So I feel like I owed it my time, because it is considered a classic and it gets so much acclaim and it's so highly regarded. And many people whom I trust gave me very positive reviews on it. I've never once heard anyone say anything negative about Hunter x Hunter. The biggest reason I didn't want to go into this anime, because I hate the art style to it. I hate it so much. I think it's so ugly. I think the character designs are hideous. I think the world looks kind of washed out and bland. It's cringy to me. That being said, people say the same thing about One Piece. So I thought to myself, maybe this art style will grow on me. These characters are said to be so well written and so nuanced, they will have to grow on me, right? I started watching it. The story wasn't really doing it for me at first. I thought, okay, this is kind of boring. I don't really have any interest in this that's going on. I don't really care about the characters right now. I'm not really attached to anything that's happening. I was told by someone whose opinion I trust that if I didn't feel anything by episode 35 or 40 or somewhere around there, that if I didn't feel anything by that point, I needed to seek therapy. And so I thought to myself, once again, similarly to One Piece, I make a pretty similar selling point on One Piece, where there's if you've watched One Piece, you know between the episodes of 35 and 40, there's a pretty big event that happens that by that point, you should be sold into this series. Because the beginning of One Piece is it's pretty rough, it's pretty slow. So once again, I thought, no, it's like One Piece. I'm going into it with the mindset of someone who hasn't watched One Piece, kind of. I gotta give it its fair shot. It's gonna grow on me. I'm eventually gonna like it. Stuff's gonna stop being so butt fucking ugly to me, and I'm gonna like this anime. Spoiler alert, I never liked it. I hated the whole thing. I dislike this show. I think it's bad. There. Band-Aid off. If you're still with me, allow me to explain. At no point did any of the aesthetics grow on me. I thought it was ugly through and through, and it eventually, I got used to it, but more or less, it still just didn't really look good to me. In terms of things with the story and the character development, I get it. I get what people find so remarkable and so lovable and so charismatic about this show. I get the catharsis of when Gon finally punches Hisoka in the face. I get why people like the Chimera Ants arc so much, why people rave endlessly about it. I get why people like the shoji battles and how that connects into the final battle with Meruem and Netero. I understand why people like Killua's backstory so much and how he connects to his family. I get why people like the whole story with York New City and Kurapika. Am I saying Kurapika? I get why people like this show. I get the moments. I would see it and I'd go, oh, I see why people like this part. But sadly, not me. I feel like there's a lot of cool ideas I don't personally feel like ever truly get expanded on far enough. There's another problem, and I think it's my biggest overall problem with this entire series, and it's two things: training arcs and narration. Oh my word, if these aren't the two biggest plagues of every shonen anime. Come the Chimera Ants arc. There were so many things going for it. I mean, I agree. I think the Chimera Ants arc is the strongest point of the series. That being said, I think it has some of the worst stuff in the series. They find a new place, or they embark on a new adventure in a new part of the world. They find new bad guys, and they go, we're not strong enough to fight these bad guys. We have to train. And then they go find someone who knows about the thing and the Nen abilities that they need to train with. So then they go and they train for a few episodes. Then when they're done training, they go and they apply those new skills, and they emerge victorious. Then, in that same arc usually, they'll find another bad guy. Oh, we're not strong enough to fight this bad guy. Let's go train over here for a minute. They find someone who can train them in that specific ability of Nen. They train for a few episodes, and then they go and they fight that guy again. And it's just lather, rinse, repeat. It's so much goddamn fucking training in this show. That's all they do is fucking train all the time. Why do you need to train so much? Just fucking go. And I get it. You're trying to explain this convoluted system of Nen, which let me explain something. This is something I will not let up on this. Nen makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Okay, every battle shonen anime has their thing. You know, there's chakra in Naruto, there's haki and devil fruits in One Piece, spirit energy in Bleach or whatever. Who cares? Bleach sucks. Like, they all have their thing. None of them are perfect. They sometimes bend and twist their own rules. But for instance, as much problems as I have with the narrative of Naruto and the characters of Naruto, I will say I personally feel like chakra is actually one of the most well-balanced systems that's been created in a battle shonen anime. I actually do think it's pretty grounded in itself, and it follows its own rules pretty well. Nen within Hunter x Hunter never makes any damn sense. It's constantly developing brand new rules. And it's not like other systems where they're necessarily expanding on the rules. No, it goes and goes and goes and goes, and all they do is introduce something new to the Nen system, and then Gon and Killua train for a few episodes, and then, well, lo and behold, there's a new Nen ability they have to learn. Where did this Nen ability come from? Why didn't they know about it before? But fuck if I know, they gotta go train with it. Then the narration happens. Holy shit, is the narration egregious in this show. Heard people defend it, heard people explain it. I don't care what the reasoning is. The narration in Hunter x Hunter is the worst. It is abysmal. It is offensive how much narration is in this show. And people will say, oh, so it's like Dragon Ball where like at the end and beginning of each episode they give like a little like the narration to kind of like, no. It's from the second the episode will start to the second that the episode ends. From beginning to end, you hear the narrator's voice more than you do the characters. I'm not even exaggerating that. And the worst part about it, the narrator just says what's happening on screen. Even when something cool is happening that I want to enjoy, that I think is awesome, the narrator comes in and explains it to me like it's a fucking children's novel. Like I'm not watching it on screen. Literally, someone will be walking down a hall and the narrator will explain to the audience that someone is walking down the hall. You don't need to tell me. I can fucking see it. That's why I'm watching this shit. I don't need to be told every single damn detail that's happening on the screen. I see it. And you want to know something? Every time this was happening, I was down in my basement and I'm yelling at my TV about fuck the narrator, and I can see what the fuck is happening on the screen. I'm yelling, I'm screaming, and then my wife's upstairs, and she's like, well, I married a psychopath. He's yelling about anime in the basement again. He's... The scene with Gon and Pietro. Pietro? How do you say his name? Whatever it is. But Gon is pissed. This person essentially killed his friend. I remember feeling, oh shit, like that spine shiver, and I'm like, Gon is pissed, like he's not playing around. And he sits down and he puts the arm on his knee and he just stares. This scene, I don't think I have, if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to describe it to you. It's chilling to watch. And it's like, oh my God, Gon, no, please don't be evil, please. It's okay, it's gonna be okay. Like, you just want to give the guy a fucking hug, but you also don't because you think he'll kill you. It's a great moment because it's like this happy character who's just, he's always optimistic and he's always trying to look at the bright side. Here he is like, nope, fuck it, I'm gonna kill somebody. Like, he snaps. Just seeing this kid sit there and stare at somebody, because of all the context surrounding this scene, it's thrilling. Then, when this other character, Pita Dish, whatever, when he tells Gon, I can't bring Kite back, after promising that he could, and after all this tension, oh, Gon just loses his shit. I mean, it's pretty fantastic. When he was powering up his whole John Ken rock move and he was just bashing the fuck out of this dude's face. I mean, dude, it's heartbreaking. But here's my problem. Here's my only, well, two problems. The narrator makes sure to tell you every fucking step of the way exactly what Gon is doing, how he's feeling, what he's doing, what he's looking at, how he's walking, how he's punching, every goddamn detail. It's awful. It ruins everything. It takes every bit of just fucking grounded emotion out of it. Then on top of that, I had to think, you know something? Gon only had like one conversation with Kite. And one of them was like where he got punched in the face by Kite. Like, he didn't really have a relationship with this guy. Like, you know, you say, oh, he knew his dad and he's giving the card and fucking whatever. Like, I mean, he didn't really have a relationship with Kite. You know, if it was someone like Killua, or just if Kite had a better developed connection to Gon, I would have really felt something there. It's such riveting character development for the main character. And it's daring for the author to go, I'm going to take this main character, this optimistic shonen protagonist, and take him down a dark route for a second. And I'm going to border him on that edge of just completely crossing over a line that he can't return from. It's good character writing. You know what's not good character writing? Fucking narrating the entire thing. Let me, as the viewer, make the connections myself. I've been watching the show from episode 1. I understand the character development. I don't need it to be explained to me. And maybe if the issue at hand was surrounding a character that we knew better or understood the relationship of better to the main character, maybe then I would actually understand why Gon felt the way he did. Or I would at least feel a little bit more justified about it. Oh, and then there's the part where he finds his dad finally. Like, he's been looking for his dad this whole fucking show. And then finally he just sees him in a board meeting. And his dad's just like, oh, hey, like, there's been all this, like, ethereal mystery behind his dad and who he is and what he's doing and all this just cat and mouse of him trying to find his dad, and he's going through all these life and death situations and cracking all these codes and going through all these different journeys to get to him, and he just finds him at a fucking board meeting. I mean, that is like the definition of anticlimactic. Like, and don't tell me, oh, he climbs the tree at the end. No, I don't care. He met him at a board meeting. Like, he was like voting on a senator. Like, fucking, that's it? That's how he meets his dad finally after all this shit? Like, fuck off. That being said, I would, personally, if you've watched this review, I do thank you. I would like to break down, probably, in the future, arc for arc, because there is a lot of things in Hunter x Hunter to actually break down in a review, and I feel like just doing an abridged review of it isn't really giving it fair justice, because the show actually does deserve more than just this review from me. But I wanted to just get my bare bones thoughts out there after I've like fresh finished the series and it's just right on my mind. And if you would like to see me do a more extensive critical breakdown of each individual arc and discuss more in depth what my exact issues were, probably will do that in the future. So please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and kind of feel like there's something that maybe I didn't understand quite enough. Give me a comment and let me hear your thoughts.